Gimgoon, to survive the weak side that FPX always put him on, it was this champion. It was the Mordekaiser in the top side that could absorb this pressure and turn it into a 1 versus 1. Now for FPX, they have to overcome this team of Rogue Warriors. Going into Game 3, all cards on the line for FPX to both make top 2 and for Rogue Warriors to stay in the playoff run.
No easy task for Rogue Warriors to take down the world champions. I want them to do well, but my word, is it a task in and of itself. FPX, though, looking to push themselves back up the table, where they can try and steal away some of these points for themselves and secure themselves top 2.
Remember, they need a series win plus a Game 3 against Top Esports. Now, because this has gone to all 3 games, I believe
it'll have to be a 2-0, wouldn't it?
They have to 2-0. Yeah. If they lose this, it'll have to be a 2-0. I think another 2-1 is actually okay against Top, but we'll get there eventually. FPX need to beat Rogue Warriors first.
We're trying to do some serious, like, jumping hurdles and mathematics because, especially when a lot of what our expected wins have not been coming through. We've had upsets across the board, and it's making it so difficult to try and calculate and hold all these different notes in your head.
Shout out to Joe/Munchables, who's already done that over on his Twitter. You can check that one out. We're getting standard runes across the board, though, jumping into game number 3 with Electrocute LeBlanc versus the Aftershock, as we've seen on the Lissandra many times. But we have a couple of newer picks that we haven't seen in a while, namely the Zaya Rakan. The Lissandra as well has to be thrown into that mix. So it's fun that this third game changes what we know about these two teams just through the draft.
So the usual way that we look at the Rakan in this set is going to be trying to get in aggressive and use this quickness to lock up multiple different moves. I actually think this time around what I'd love to see Lei do is play a much more defensive Rakan. Use the quickness to stop the engages from Doinby, to stop Tian getting in for these dragon kicks, because if you can stop those big engage tools, you have a much better time of success for the likes of Shangwuji in these team fights. Whereas I think you just let the likes of Crazy and Rumin deal with LWX setting up for this bullet time, and Rogue Warriors have a better time in these fights. That being said, though, FPX have shown they're very potent in this early game, and if it's FPX who are the ones that are in the lead and finding these advantages for themselves, it's going to be hard for Rogue Warriors to stop that engage from coming in quick and fast.
Let's build our knowledge up, though, in this game 3 for the jungle pathing, because you can see it's from blue Gromp to red now for Tien towards the bottom side, while Haro is up towards this top side. That we talked about Gimgoon being on a bit of an island here, especially with Crazy already pushing in and the wave going against him here. Gimgoon gets a nice trade back, but as you can see, the wave eventually will do its job.
So Haro opting for this full clear. Look how he went to Raptors and now can bounce back towards the Krugs, which means as Crazy's wave bounces back out, you can have Haro here to help. So this is where Haro can make the choice. Scuttle into topside gank and then to Krugs, or actually, looks like he wants to hover towards this mid in case Tian.
At least towards Scuttle as Tian is coming down towards the bottom side. Jungwoo and Lei backing away. Guardian taken on Lei and used, but spotted out by a ward towards his bottom side as well. Tian is going to go for Scuttle himself, and a trade of Scuttles across the map to start off this early game with Haro a small lead in his back pocket in CS.
Well, I mean, picking that Doinby was missing, so Haro now making his way back towards mid. You can see he wants to make plays happen on this Rek'Sai, but it's not easy to do against this Lissandra. She can hop out quite simply and avoid the ganks from Haro unless Wumin can get those chains out.
We're going to see a sick gank where you predict the glacial path as Tien is predicting what Jungwoo and Lei are going to do bot. Waves coming in. You want to get them before. We talked about the dive. TP for TP, but it's FPX first here. Onto Lei, Sonic Wave. He's trying to run away, but First Blood does go over as Doinby tanks up the turret, but Chris is on an island here. It'll be traded across over to Wuming.
So they're able to get that one back in their favor. Dulver teleports, and it's all said and done. Lei who goes down for Crisp. So Shangwuji will pick up all this golden experience underneath the tower. Rogue Warriors turning back FPX's dive we were talking about in the bottom lane.
I prefer that as Rogue Warriors. The LeBlanc got the kill versus Crisp on the Leona. Haro now going for the invade as well. He has a level advantage over Tien. And Tien can only get the remnants of this wave while Haro gets away scot-free still with a CS lead.
So FPX opt for this play because they realize that there's no heal in the bottom lane. Shangwuji rightfully has opted for the cleanse with how much CC is on FPX's side, but it does leave them vulnerable to plays like this. And when it's Rakan that gets locked up, he's not able to provide the heals, the shields, or even the CC to try and turn that one back in their favor without the rest of Rogue Warriors showing up. Rogue Warriors do just that though, and they put themselves in a successful spot.
And note that staying in the way for Jung Wooji, he's able to push out and reset, get the Berserker Greaves nice and early here with a small CS lead that LWX will be catching as the wave crashes on in. We're watching Doinby and Wooming through the mid lane, just trading blows with Tien shadowing him, but then deciding to go back as well.
So for Rogue Warriors, as we hit that 5-minute mark, one of the good things about having the Xayah in this lane is she's one of the best AD carries at pushing in this lane. She can push it in really effectively against Misfortune and then look to try and help out at either the Dragon or when we approach that 8-minute mark, shove in really quickly, get the double back and move towards this Rift Herald.
Getting chasing. Really good death grasp from Gimgoon though. That means the trade back is pretty substantial. The crazy hit 6 just as he blocks on down onto Gimgoon. The level 5 Mordekaiser backing away here as well. So net win for the top laner of Rogue Warriors.
Woomin and Harrow, though, are looking to enter into this top side, try and get the vision control over for themselves and just get lost in the darkness so FPX aren't sure where Woomin is.
I want to note back as Doinby was wondering where they were disappearing, that Harrow ends up taking Scuttle anyway. I also noticed towards the top side in that last trade, as Gimgoon TP's back in, he's picked up a Seeker's Arm Guard quite early, but Crazy still has a massive lead up there.
This is really strange from Gimgoon, though. Usually we see the Bramble Vest come into this Aatrox matchup to have the greatest wounds, deflect some of the healing, but going for the Seeker's Arm Guard is saying, look, I'm going to be going in really deep in these fights and I'm going to be trying to put pressure onto Shang Wuji and Lei, so I want to have this stopwatch available as soon as possible, or the Sonya's Hourglass available as soon as possible, so I can survive these fights and just keep the backline of Rogue Warriors busy.
At the very least, remember, weak side top laner for FPX, that's how they've played before, while LWX is mounting a lead bottom side with a 20 CS advantage, and now moving towards the enemy jungle. Tien is with them.
The problem here for FPX though is that Crazy has the teleport advantage. He has to still he has backed and be able to come in towards these plays on the bottom side of the map if something happens. So that's why Harrow, I think, is passing down towards this bottom lane.
Wow.
Oh, that's a heck of a lot of vision. But Harrow's passing down towards this bottom lane here because if they can make a play towards this dragon and FPX are pulled into it, Crazy should be able to make a play in conjunction with them. Just needs to make sure he escapes away from Gimgoon's grasp.
Harrow with 6. Definitely due noted. FPX are in a choke, 4 members strong. They're getting off the blue buff here, looking to turn onto Lei and Wuji instead. He's just going to battle dance all the way back to Jung Wuji as they get vision of the LeBlanc as well.
Look at Crazy though, he'd moved the half the way down river to make sure that he was able to get away from Gimgoon and join in that fight, which is why FPX very quickly abandoned that jungle play on towards the blue buff. And this is now where... Oh, hang on.
This is where they make the engage, apparently, Dacta. Jung Wuji is going to cleanse away, ignite it down. Chris says, I'm going to take you, brother, as Lei gets stunned up as well, and LWX batters the hammer on top of that 2v2. LWX and Chris, once again, winning out their lane.
And that was just a second decision from Chris. Stopping Shang Wuji from getting to the lane, hitting this level 6 point. They use the small advantage LWX has to get the engage and get it off before you have that level 6 by Shang Wuji.
And the only reason that LWX and Chris back there, you can feel, is that Wooming was roaming down. So the threat of the mid laner at least pushes them back, and Jung Wuji and Lei are able to pick up the remnants of that wave. But already a bit dangerous here for Rogue Warriors as Harrow says, all right, that's cool. We can start the dragon. They're on a ward, but you can see FPX not interested in taking this one.
They won't be able to do anything. Still Crazy with that teleport advantage. And they still got to be careful as well of Wooming catching a few people off in transition towards this objective. And this is Rogue Warriors, for the first time in this series, getting a dragon nice and early for themselves.
Spawns a Cloud next in 5 minutes as well. Tien, meanwhile, pings are going down towards a Rift Herald, so a bit of a later trade, especially with Doinby getting the push in the mid-wave. This is going to be started by Tien. LWX and Chris have made the roam. Well, you can see the bottom lane of Rogue Warriors are actually going back to that bot side.
I think this is a mistake from Rogue Warriors. They probably wouldn't have, well, to be fair, they probably wouldn't have been able to get here in time after taking that Rift Herald, but I think that taking the Rift Herald has been so influential in this series for Rogue Warriors that having that objective is far more important than taking a Mountain Dragon this early, and especially when you've just seen LWX use the bullet time, you have your own AD carries level 6 now up and available. They could have looked to fight that aggressively with the lack of damage that FPX had, but Rogue Warriors unfortunately missed that timing window, and now will end up giving over the Rift Herald to FPX.
And LWX doesn't really lose much CS down here either. Massive wave to capitalize on, who also has just picked up a big BF sword. So it's kind of funny that no one thinks about what the initials of BF means, you know? I'm sure they do, but...
your best friend. I mean,
Sure,
if you had a big sword that size, it would be your best friend.
Oh, yeah, a bit more rooted than that. It's been in the game for a while. Right, just slip that one under the belt. There's wave picked up eventually, and you can still see a big CS lead down towards that bottom side. A CS leader mounting towards the mid lane as well. Wooming just going to pick up the blue buff, and towards the top side, big lead for Aatrox. So across multiple lanes, we're splitting the map a bit, and now splitting the gold. 16k apiece.
Tien is trying to put that gold into LWX's pockets, though. You can see getting down here, trying to see if he can get onto Lei or Zhongwuji with the Rift Herald in tow. Again, this dive bottom side is what FPX are going for here.
Arrow being very patient. Pings went down. Is that warded? That must be warded. That is. That's ward from FPX. Arrow was sitting on it for quite a while, and thus you can see Tien was kind of posturing towards that river, and still is. In fact, as they're going to face off. But we're not going to see it on camera. Show me.
The longer we spend down in this... Ooh, damage.
Dude, geography. What is it? Geometry. That's the one. Maybe it is a bit of geography because the players laid down the bear. Zhongwuji sends the feathers out, and that seems kind of unfair. FPX put the Rift Herald down the bottom lane. Haro is here, but Doomy flashes on in with the tomb that seals Lei's death. As Wooming comes on in, finds Chris. The Rek'Sai ult comes out as well. Play not dim. Done. Excuse me, as Doomy will die in the end as well. LWX flashes away. Zhongwuji or Wooming is after him, but Tien helps him survive. And that was a bloodthirsty play from Rogue Warriors as well.
It was actually a great play from Gimgoon. Crazy was trying to teleport into that fight, but he got stopped by Gimgoon, who's now trying to fight this Aatrox.
Into the Death Realm with World Ender. I mean, how does Gimgoon play this one out? Well, quite easily at the moment, as Crazy's trying to dodge away out of the Death Realm, and Crazy wants to go for the re-engagement. Meanwhile, FPX, a big net win, getting first turret as well.
Gimgoon saved that play. Look at how low everyone on FPX was, and the fact that Aatrox couldn't come in changed that entirely. So now we've got FPX, who getting the kills over towards Doinby, have gotten 5 assists onto LWX, and that turret in the bottom lane down thanks to that Rift Herald. So this is the play I love from Chris. Getting on towards Zhongwuji, the damage from the bullet time is there, and this is where LWX has just got to go, get out of here. Even once Haro can spot that Rift Herald is there, they need to back off. But even after this, with Wooming coming into the play, they want more, and it could have been great apart from that cancel on the teleport. That was the big difference here, where if you had Aatrox finishing off LWX here, being able to turn on to Tien in conjunction with Wooming, Rogue Warriors could have won.
I was wondering how Doomy got a double kill. It's a frozen thrall on the back end of that play, but LWX survives in the end. 005 hit. Working his way up to the Bond status yet again with the Essence Reaver in hand. And alongside Gimgoon, he's going to be taking this one pretty seriously, as Doomy has now found himself a free LeBlanc as Wooming here. He might just get kicked away. I guess he knows he's dead. He wants the turret plate to go with him.
I've checked the math, and that's not worth, because turret plate is 160, whereas a kill like that is a solid 300 gold going over into the pockets of FPX. So I don't know why Wooming stuck around that long. Not respecting FPX whatsoever.
Takes his second death of the game, and Tien yet again with 3 kills here in the early game. While Doomy says, I'm going to take some turret plating myself through the mid lane. And this early game has just shifted gears. FPX are taking turret plates left, right, and center.
Because Rogue Warriors are committed to this play on the bottom side, will now be spotted by FPX though.
Arrow's going to be disappearing. Zenith Plate doesn't connect, and Gimgoon looks for the Death Grasp yet again here. But Dragon is spawning, and FPX are in a good position to start this one off.
LWX is on the top side with Crazy now wandering down. They need LWX here, but watch Doinby. He's going to back away here with Teleport and might look to try and get a flank onto the members of Rogue Warriors, but instead, FPX have abandoned this.
I mean, they're back getting vision, and Rogue Warriors are wondering where they are. This one's just going to be started off, and okay, they don't care.
So FPX are going to trade this for the top lane turret, which I think is pretty good. I mean, a second dragon, that Cloud Dragon going over, doesn't mean a huge amount to you. Whereas if you can start to get another turret down, it becomes a lot easier for FPX to siege onto this mid lane turret, have Gimgoon and Doinby come in for this big engage underneath that structure, and use that bullet time Lissandra combo that we were talking about.
But I have to say, for Rogue Warriors, what a win condition. Ocean Soul on the horizon, 2 dragons time. And it's Zhongwuji on the Xayah. BF Sword already picked up, heading towards the Essence Reaver as well. But now you have a firm advantage that you can play towards if you're Rogue Warriors.
The problem for Rogue Warriors is, though, that Xayah pick. Xayah needs a little bit more time to come online. She wants to get the Essence Reaver, Seal, Infinity Edge, all these items picked up before she really becomes a menace in these team fights. When you're looking at 2 dragons already picked up, well, 3rd dragon is going to spawn before you can really get those items. Then the next dragon is spawning maybe just as you're about to get those items. But you aren't really in a position to fight against LWX, who will have Essence Reaver, Infinity Edge. So this is where this Xayah pick is becoming a bit of a nuisance for Rogue Warriors, and it's the same problem that we saw them fall into with Ruby on this Azir, where they just need time. But Rogue Warriors don't want to give themselves time, and FPX definitely don't.
See how they defend the mid lane turret though, because FPX waiting on the rear, as Tian is going to be starting up this Rift Herald in the meantime. Rogue Warriors not going any deeper than the river right now, being very cautious through this map, as LWX and Gimgoon group up yet again here to push through mid. And for Jung Wooji, has the help of Lei to make him safe. And Tian, where's he going to put this one?
Mid lane. I mean, why not just take that mid lane turret? It's, it's super low. Wumi's been pushed out by Gimgoon and LWX here. Although Tien might be looking to hold off and see if FPX might be able to just take that one with enough manpower towards this mid lane.
The engage onto Lei from Chris. Could have been a bit more dangerous, able to walk that one away. Wooji sticks around the mid lane while Doomby here has the push. You mentioned Tien going towards the top side. Well, this one ripe for the taking. Or at least to push on him. We're not going to drop it down just yet.
Trying to hang on there for a little bit to see if they could create pressure on the top side to allow that mid lane turret to go down. But Rogue Warriors are answering tip for tat, and because that tier 1's already gone down, well, Crazy's going to pick up his own tier 1 in the bottom side of the map. Now we're looking at the gold as we just broach the 17-minute mark. At 3,500, nearly 4,000 gold lead in favor of FPX. This coming off of the kills, of course, they picked up, the turret plates they picked up, and the CS advantages that are starting to eke themselves out in that mid and bottom lane.
If anyone missed that OP graphic we just saw before, though, Tien with 100% kill participation being applauded this time around. And just like last game where he had an early lead, it's about advancing that here for the side of FPX. It's a Black Cleaver in hand as well. But notice here, Riftel now being dropped on down. And with the quick push that comes through, this turret is gone.
This was always going to be the case. It was FPX just giving it time to make sure they got the charge off. Now, Rogue Warriors with no outer turrets remaining might struggle to keep themselves in check when it comes to vision in this jungle. You can see FPX already moving in to clear all that out. But it does mean they'll be able to spot Woomin as he tries to make his way in.
I mean, what's going on with Haru? He's nowhere near this play. Jungwooji gets caught out, still has the ultimate available and flash. Won't have to use it as the bullet time comes through. Haru now rejoins.
That's 2 really big ultimates down on the FPX side. Whoa, Crazy!
Glacial Path, the flash forward with the tomb as well. Fit for an Emperor here to kick back, but Crazy has the life steal. He finds one underneath turret. FPX too far with the dive as Wooming is pulled into the death realm. But even under turret, Gimgoon is taking damage here. Tien still finds him. The flash forward from Gimgoon. It turns okay for FPX in the end as LWX is looking for Jungwooji. Haru and Lei find him as well, the hill with the movement speed. And now FPX still in the bottom lane have won this play out.
It's 2 for 1 and FPX will be able to retreat. A lot used in that scenario. We got the teleport out of Wooming. Crazy was taken incredibly low. So now when you look at FPX and they setting up for the rest of the map, they can now have Gimgoon and Doinby off in these side lanes uncontested because there's only one teleport available for Crazy and Rogue Warriors.
This looks shocking at first for FPX.
It really does, because Crazy does a fantastic job here of getting multiple knockups onto key carries. Woomin, though, runs into the waiting hands of Gimgoon here, which is where it all starts to go disastrously, especially when Xiangwu wasn't able to get over to the fight in time to try and provide a bit more CC and keep the members of FPX under the tower.
You can see that damage coming through from the Leandries on Gimgoon as well. Plus TM picked up yet another kill. 100% kill participation continues here in this game 3.
Dragon has now spawned, and FPX are already here to try and secure this one for themselves. We talked about Rogue Warriors not really being in a position right now because of their items to try and contest this, so FPX will start to ramp up this Dragon. I imagine it'll still be Rogue Warriors gifting over that next Dragon, the second Dragon, towards FPX, and then maybe at that stage they can look towards Zhongwu being in a better position as on this side, because we even saw with LWX taking a few pop shots at Zhongwu as he ran away from the last fight. It wasn't a fair fight whatsoever.
I believe Wooming actually picked that one up there. He almost got caught out before. He's playing pretty aggressively in this bottom side jungle, as Doombee's going to be farming that up while Crazy takes this turret himself. So nicely done from Rogue Warriors, finally taking that outer structure they were pinging before the last fight.
Crazy's been doing great for Rogue Warriors. He got bottom lane turret, he's now got top lane turret, he helped turn around that play in the bottom side, so Crazy helping to keep Rogue Warriors in this game. And yes, we still got that 4,000 gold lead, but especially with the amount of pressure FPX have put down, it hasn't been growing for FPX.
20 minutes in, and this game ain't said and done, even with FPX's league.
And there's no rush on Rogue Warriors to try and put pressure onto FPX, because the Baron ability is kind of terrible. Doinby doesn't do it particularly fast. The LWX doesn't do it particularly good. Yeah, you got some damage that can come in from Gimgoon, but ideally you're going to have him off in a side lane against Crazy. So as Rogue Warriors, as long as you can keep a little bit of vision onto it to make sure that FPX haven't disappeared for too long, they don't have to go towards this Baron as often as you think.
Crazy actually on 2 items as well. Death Dance by Cleaver. Note the lethality purchase here from Haro. Many of the Rek'Sai junglers, what we've seen recently here in the LPL, is the 2nd or 3rd item. What is it?
Edge of Night.
Edge of Night, that's it. Something about darkness. So that has been picked up more often than you'd expect here. And especially with the team comp that FPX are running, it's going to be a pretty worthy purchase.
Yeah, especially when they can avoid the likes of Doinby picking him off, or even the stuns that are coming through from Crisp. So Haro trying to at least play front line and keep himself at bay from a lot of the CC that will be coming from FPX.
You know who we have to ask about this Rek'Sai purchase, though? We have to start talking to Ender.
True.
Ender is a Rek'Sai aficionado. He builds like 10 IEs on him in a single game.
It's impressive.
Well, that's one word for it, definitely is. We look at the top lane turret going down. It is the inner for FPX, getting more control up towards this top side where Baron is. But you can see Rogue Warriors with a nice ward at the back of the pit. Means they don't have to push and overextend simply to get information around the purple worm.
And that's the beauty of it. This is where FPX need to try and find their picks or draw Rogue Warriors into these fights. But Rogue Warriors aren't opting for that. They've got really good wave clear in Zhongwuji. Woomin in these side lanes is happy to farm up a few more items for himself alongside Crazy. So as long as they can just have these blue trinkets that can pop in, get a bit of vision every so often, if that control ward in the pick goes down, Rogue Warriors are fine.
At least control some of the vision towards the bottom side here as well. Control ward going to be found out, and Crazy here waiting for this push to come through the bottom lane turret. FPX are making a play. But which lane is it going to be in the end? They're grouping up around Gimgoon, it seems.
Rogue Warriors trying to get vision back in this bottom side jungle to spot out how FPX are going to start dancing, as we talked about, between these two lanes. And right now, they're doing a good job of keeping Crazy safe and getting these minion waves off the turrets.
A lot of mobility you can see as well. Wooming doesn't want to go too far forward. Sends out a chain. Is now towards the next inner turret. Zhongwuji does have a bit more wave clear at this point. Very close to the Infinity Edge as well. So while we keep track of Zhongwuji, just note that with the IE, it's going to be very quick clearing out these waves. But FPX don't care. They're going towards Crazy's lane once again.
The longer the Rogue Warriors can hang on to this tower, the better, though. This tower in the bottom lane is one of the most difficult to defend because you've got so many routes to wrap around, and you can have Doinby coming over the wall, Tien coming over the wall. So it's a bit of a give-me tower in a lot of situations, but Rogue Warriors have done a great job here of keeping this tower standing, and the longer it does, the more time they have to get their items and get themselves into a better spot.
And they've given themselves a bit of time here with Wooming going towards the top side. The wave getting pushed in towards their inner, and FPX are backing away. And that's kind of it for the weird little macro play. Macro. But
they're also backing away for the dragon that's about to spawn. FPX want to make sure they're in good spot to fight for that if the need does arrive. So they're picking up their items. You see another BF sword picked up for LWX. Doinby got the Zonya's Hourglass completed the last back, so he's now in a prime Lissandra position. And this is where FPX might be able to draw Rogue Warriors out of their hidey holes and into a fight.
Zonya's Hourglass picked up as well here for Gimgoon. We're in League of Farming right now. Been on that for a little while. That ward has stayed around so long in the back of the pit for Rogue Warriors. They're getting so much value out of a single control ward that FPX are yet to clear, but that's because they're heading towards the bottom side with the 4th dragon of the game spawning up.
If I'm Rogue Warriors, I don't want to fight for this. yes, you've got Infinity Edge and Essence Reaver completed, but you really come online as Zhongwuji with the Zeal, the Rapid Fire Cannon coming into the Xayah pick. But Rogue Warriors, it's Rogue Warriors. They're going to want to fight for this and make sure that they're the ones securing.
Wiming has gotten in here, uncontested, going for the steal, won't find it, but bursts down Tien as the Death Grasp misses as well. Gimgoon takes him into the Death Realm, and in the 1v1, look at where Doomby wants to position. He doesn't go in, Lei finds the engage on the backside. Meanwhile, Zhongwuji hitting away, doesn't get the blade call up, but Lei picks down with the ignite. As out of the Death Realm, Gimgoon in the middle while the bullet time destroys Rogue Warriors. Into the air, Zhongwuji flies. But this is all about flying for FPX after that fight.
Rogue Warriors don't have the damage right now. Woomin has been taken into the Death Realm by Gimgoon every time he tries to poke somebody out. And it means that Zhongwuji, who we just said is not at this critical point, cannot carry these team fights. And FPX, with a fantastic bullet time from LWX to close things out, will swing the lead heavily in their favor.
Watch this once again.
Yeah, Zhongwuji has access to some key members here, but the problem is, can't get past this Leona, who's going to try and turn on towards the Xayah the second she gets the opportunity. Gimgoon is surviving for so damn long that LWX gets the opportunity to reposition. Zhongwuji is still not able to get any sort of damage to the backline. And FPX, we said, will win the fight. They take the dragon, and instead Rogue Warriors are giving over a bunch of gold on top of that.
And now, equal dragons across the board, where FPX are soaring towards an Ocean Soul. At this point in 26 minutes in the game, a 5k gold lead has been really just taken hold of here by FunPlus Phoenix. They're now in front of the Baron, looking to clear away some of that vision. And a GA picked up now by LWX, plus the Oblivion Orb onto Doinby. Well, Chris clears away yet again. Look at the priority they have even through the mid lane.
And the Zhonya's Hourglass from Gimgoon is getting important as well. We talked about, hey, Bramble Vest is the go-to item in most cases against an Aatrox lane to help you out in that lane specifically, but Gimgoon going for the team fight more. If I can pull Woomin into this Death Realm and I've got the Zhonya's Hourglass so I survive, well then I've done my job of keeping LeBlanc out, which is far more important.
But look at this flank, it hasn't been spotted out. Lei gets the engage in the meanwhile, while FPX are cornered around mid. Even under the turret, Tien finds the first kill though, but a blade caller under Chris, not good enough. Rogue Warriors seem to be too far behind with the bullet time yet again. Scorching the earth that Rogue Warriors stand upon. The orbs rise as Gimgoon says to Crazy, it is time for you to perish. The rest of the team stands amongst the World Ender. He's pulled in, smacked down, and LWX controls the fate of the Young Warriors.
And they can crack open the base of the Young Warriors as FPX will push through. Won't be able to finish just yet, but we said that all FPX wanted was an excuse to pull Rogue Warriors out of their base, and they take it with welcoming hands.
The highlight yet again onto Tien with high kill participation and even his damage taken as Haro is behind enemy lines, just wondering what to do at this point. While LWX is 3,000 gold over Zhongwuji, 76% kill participation there as well. We have a look at this baller again.
Again though, when Lei goes in, there's no follow-up damage. Woomin is taken out of the fight instantly. Zhongwuji doesn't have his items right now, and this is the problem that we start to see with these Chris AD carries, is that they just don't have the damage when you need it. Mid-game is when these games are decided, and unfortunately mid-game has long since passed, but it's FPX who have run away with that point to find themselves 8,000 gold ahead in the late stages.
You got another Zeal coming through, this time onto LWX. 3 items now available for Doomby as well. Woomin goes to the side lane because at this point that's all he can do, get some pressure down. Well, look back at Gimgoon, who seems to be going towards, what do we got there? Proto Belt third potentially. That or we're going into a Spirit Visage. But FPX are going into the Baron now, looking to seal the deal on this series and step even closer towards top 2.
FPX, this is their moment. This is where they want to try and secure that.
Okay, there's a knock-up on the Gimgoon. The teleporters come through from Wooming. 2 people on the back of the pit. The Death Grasp there yet again, but he pulls Wooming into the Death Realm, it seems. Gimgoon lays the smackdown. Rather, it's Haro there as the bullet time again. Fly, Phoenix, fly. Zhongwuji has a message for them. Take it all, he says. A double kill over to Tien yet again, and Wooming on the run while they look to take on this crazy Aatrox. He'll run away, but Crisp says not today. That's all she wrote. Rogue Warriors are done for.
Tien is chasing Woomin out of the base. The TP in. He's caught between all angles.
Might not be over because we're chasing a LeBlanc. Through the mid-wave, though, everyone grouping up. At the very least, this base will be in tatters.
It definitely feels like it's said and done, though. Rogue Warriors have been losing fight after fight. Their inhibitors are going down, and FPX have now decided to group and crack open the Nexus turrets.
Gimgoon up in 10 seconds with TP available, so if they don't need him, it could just be over immediately. 4 people charging forward. Jungwooji's respawned as well. Wooming looking for a flanking angle, but LWX beats him with a stick. A stick that's made of gunpowder, apparently locking down from Doomby. The engage all the way forward. FPX have done it. It was a hard series, but it's still a win for the Phoenix.